Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of Destination Divergence. Does anyone want to give a recap of last session of those who are here and want to catch everybody up? No takers. Okay, I'll do it. So, last week, 3 party members were down after having gone through a drinking competition that left them too incapacitated to really help the party at all that morning. And then Nakareth caught up with the party shortly after. So he did kind of shake it off a bit midway through the morning. Then the party went to Whispers, the local town enchanting shop. And while there, they took on a quest to go and kill a displacer beast in the Eldritch Grove. Which they then did, just kind of leaving their party in Galt while they left for a week. And that was essentially last week. Nakareth almost fucking died, but he didn't. He's still here, and he was cured by the local priest, and now you're all back together in Galt. And that was a quick recap. So, you all arise on, I suppose today would be essentially a Sunday. And you all, I would assume, would meet in somebody's room, if anyone has objections to that.
Did Nakarth ever leave the priest's house?
Nakareth kind of stumbled into the Temple of the 12 and, interrupted a service, and the high priest just stepped down and, blessed him and cured him, and then he was fully cured, so he just walked out.
Yes, I thanked him profusely and then left.
Yep.
So when we arrived yesterday, I was immediately gonna drag that body to Whispers.
Okay.
So, I would have dropped that off.
Right. So Nakareth actually has the heart, because he tore it out of the body to kill it. And that's all she has for. Yeah.
I just have the rest of the body, and I was just gonna fucking give it to her.
Yeah. Nakareth rolled well on the final hit.
I wanted that pelt. I figured, hey, if I can't make a cloak of protection, I can at least make a cloak of displacement.
Right.
Y'all need a higher power. Holy shit.
What?
I'm just,
I did in fact drag the entire body back the whole way.
All right. So for the sake of brevity, I will say then she will now allow Nakareth to study her sample as agreed, her sample of a cloak of protection. So in the future, if you take downtime to study a cloak of protection, you'll have increased progress on that. Sweet. And you guys still have the whole corpse. She'll hold on to it for you, but as agreed, the rest of the corpse is still yours. The party's, rather. So now you are all together. It is a start of a new month today. Woo! You guys have, I believe, 10 weeks or 9 weeks left until AH, whoever that is, arrives in Passage. Pretty much exactly.
Right.
Otherwise, you are now all together in somebody's room in the Brass Bolt.
It's probably our room.
That's fair enough.
Mine, Nakareth's. Karth. Sorry, I don't pronounce things right. What you want to
do? So now that our side biz is taken care of and Hannah is, I assume, available, what are our next steps in dealing with the vampire problem?
Who's Hannah?
I am so sorry. Wow, old character.
Motherfucker, it wasn't even Hannah, it's Hana. I'm a new cat now. Fuck you.
That was a throwback right there.
Anyway.
Is this just subtle racism against cat girls?
Not subtle.
Actually.
Okay, let's recap. What I've been doing my thing over here.
Yes.
And what the fuck did you guys do in the forest? This is
killed the displacer.
Oh wait,
killed the displacer beast, and then we almost died.
I
almost died.
When you mean by we, you meant you, right?
Yeah. Basically.
Nakareth, I don't know what you thought was going to happen when you left town without me, your main healer, but I'm glad you didn't die.
I didn't take getting a disease that could kill me in 3 days into account.
Hey, Kark and I together make about 3/4 of a healer, so, you know.
Yeah, they could just take care of literally everything except that.
I mean, we did enter
Pretty much.
magical forest.
You know that you were all very interested in the magical forest the last time I saw you. I'm glad it paid off so well. That is a nice cat body, though. I'm not at all disturbed by the sight of this.
Like Kabatsu? You
I-
can have it if you want.
Drost, that was humor. I was doing humor.
You need to sell
Um,
that, Ross.
Oh,
Well,
work harder.
I've been doing some digging back here into the vampire issue. And I don't mind bragging a little bit, I have gotten a little bit in good with the local temple and their folk. Odd bunch. But if y'all would be so inclined, I would love to start investigating that scenario a little more. Where are y'all hanging?
We are all hanging in your room. We are.
Sweet fucking gods. Someone save me. Okay. Anyone else? What are we feeling like?
What do you mean? How? I apologize. What is this local turn of phrase?
I'm sorry. I should be more on everyone's level. What would we like to do in the town now that you're all back?
Vampires.
Well, what Vampire did you play. learn?
Oh, good.
Well, I
do
kind of want
not-
to take the poison out of those 2-headed dogs' heads that I salvaged.
I do not think we should do vampires, but we can hunt them.
Fucking Drost.
It's not gonna
What did
stop.
you learn?
Drost,
About...
I agree.
Trust, I thought you were a high intelligence character. Hold on.
High intelligence doesn't mean low asshole.
That's fair. Yeah,
this universe.
that's fair.
I already explained
Wow.
this. Common is his second language.
Fair enough.
That sounds like something that would go on a wall, kind of like live, laugh, love.
Oh my god.
Common is my
Comedy
second
is my
language.
second language.
But it
Anyways.
says spelled ease as EES. Ease.
Yes.
So, what did you learn about James Barker from the temple?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, we've been mainly in the preliminary phase here, so I didn't learn so much as I did curry favor with those kind of creepy lads in the temple. You all saw their leader, right? He's spooky. I don't like that guy.
He looked as normal as the rest of you. I do not understand.
I mean, now I technically
So-
owe him now. So, yeah.
And just to be clear, he was a large male orc as the leader of the temple. Since that was lost on the recap,
Oh yeah, I forgot
but
about
not a half orc or anything. He's just big ass orc.
Yeah, but
Karif,
Yes.
orcs chill.
you owe the temple leader?
I guess kind of. I feel like I do. He saved my life because I stumbled into town and that was faster than getting to the inn and finding you. So I went to the temple
Okay.
and he cured my disease. That was literally killing me.
Well, that's a surface level good gesture of him. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah. He
I
cast Greater Restoration. He spent an entire ass diamond on me.
Shit. Well, I guess jury's still out. Maybe I am judging the book by its cover, but I don't think so because I'm a good judge of character. I
You're also a cat.
What's your wisdom again?
Milos, thank you. The ears are out. I guess we're all on the same page here. But thank you for noticing that I am indeed a cat.
If I may ask,
Yes. my
this
friend.
priest, his job is healing. So why is this restoration? Why do you owe him something? It is his job.
Pretty sure he had to drop some pretty significant resources in order to cast that spell. Am I wrong? I wasn't there.
But it is his job.
Dude's only got so much stamina. It's a nice gesture. Healing services ain't free.
Draws to the communist.
No, he spent 100 gold worth of resources to heal me and asked for nothing in return.
Yes, he's a good man.
Yes, so now I owe him a favor.
Nakareth, make me a general intelligence check real quick. Just to see if you remember something.
One.
One. Okay. Yep, that's all.
Natural one.
That's
with
all
plus
you.
0.
Yep, as you just said, it is all you remember of that day. Maybe you're a little too cloudy from the
Well,
disease.
I mean, he told me to worship or follow in the light of the 12, but that was it. At least I think that's all I remember. I don't know. But I don't know. I feel like I owe him an actual favor rather than vague promises to be a better person.
So
I
speaking of
have.
favors,
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Go ahead, Craig. Go ahead.
oh, I was going to say, speaking of favors, what can we do to help get the information we need?
Well, my goal in my little heart of hearts is to make it into the town barracks. I want to speak to James. I think that's what we need to move this forward. And even if it's not me, whatever, if we have to really kind of put our minds together and get someone in there to talk to him, though I will say it would probably be best if it were me. Given
Agreed.
your relative people skills, but that aside, I feel like we've got a lot of info on this case, but nothing crucial is broken yet, and I really want to change that. Do any of you have any ideas for how we might be able to kind of get deeper into this?
Why do we not wait till night and sneak into this James Barker's jail cell?
Breaking
I'm pretty
into
sure it's gonna be stationed.
guarded.
Yes.
Who of us is stealthy?
Me, but I'm not. No, I feel like breaking into a jail at night is a bad idea.
Well, breaking into a jail that day is worse idea, yes?
What if we didn't break in?
That would be acceptable, but
We could curry favor with town sheriff.
Does it seem to you guys that the
Speaking of, another thing that was lost in the recap, Drost learned last session that the town sheriff has been missing for weeks, and the town guard do not seem to care, or don't seem to speak of it, or do anything
Suspicious.
crazy out of the ordinary.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Put your heads together with Felicia for a second here. I think, and maybe this is blindingly obvious to everyone, that the Temple of the 12 has the total run of the place here, and the law enforcement means pretty much nothing. Does that seem right to anyone else in the room?
perhaps.
Sorry, what was that? I stepped out for a sec.
Out of character, I have not gotten that indication.
Yeah, I
Oh,
have
for real?
a clue. Like,
Oh,
Well,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
haven't had too much
Yeah.
interaction.
I mean,
with
you've
local law
researched,
enforcement.
like, you've gotten in with the dudes, but like,
Yeah, like we haven't been
We-
in the
we
town
don't know.
offices at all. All we've done is talk to the
the
blacksmith,
guards.
the shop owner, and a couple guards.
We
Out
talk
of
to the
character.
useful people, not the people that we should be useful to.
That
Out
is
of
actually a
character, that was by
fantastic
no
way to-
means hard knowledge. I am not like speaking from, hard data on that. That's just the vibe I've picked up. So
Is that the vibe you picked up from your 2 weeks of Korean favor with the temple, or is that just like
no, I want to clear that. No, I
Actually-
have not been.
Now that I think about it as well. Felicia, make me a history roll, since you've been at the temple and you have seen the priest as well.
Okay. Yeah, well, on brand. Drop the die.
As is tradition.
Okay, 18.
18, okay. When you all first saw this orc that cured Nikarth, he had 8 silver rings, 1 on each finger. None of you at the time recognized it, but Felicia has lived in and around the area of, pretty much. She grew up in the Empire and such, here in the main continent. Familiar with all the local legends and such, and you recognize the 8 rings as marking somebody as a member of a society called the Aurum. That is AURUM. And it's not like a secret society, it's a fairly public society, though the members aren't always like commonly seen, and they tend to hold a lot of wealth and influence. And
Okay.
so there are various degrees of it, like there's the copper tier, the silver tier, the gold tier, platinum tier. These are all called the Concords. And then there are rumors and legends, since you rolled so high, of an inner circle known as the Shadow Cabinet that is essentially the Illuminati. But
Okay.
those are only rumors and legends.
So this dude is publicly a member of the Illuminati.
Well, he's publicly a member of the public-facing element of the Illuminati. Yes, it's like
So he's a member of the
working.
government.
It's like working for Facebook or Google or something. They're. You might be a low-ranking member of a much greater organization that is probably doing something nefarious with something.
Was it the Shadow Cabinet?
The Shadow Cabinet is the rumored and legend Illuminati. Yes, the Concord above the Platinum Concord.
Okay.
Okay, that is good information that I don't know.
Yeah. So
Yes.
in my little past comment that we out of character spoke about, I will note that the head priest I know is a member of the Aurum.
Yep.
And they, my whole life I've known them to hold great wealth and influence, and there's not a whole lot else going on in this town. And my God, if the sheriff is missing and no one's really doing much about it, I mean, the pieces connect to me. Maybe no one else is feeling that, but
I mean, not
Now-
to be racist, but he's an orc and the sheriff's a half orc. He might know something about it.
That's a little racist, actually.
with
Say
the
not
amount
to
of
be
racism I've endured from you all, I'm really not going to comment on this except say you're all bad people. But point being,
I just have a shit memory.
Okay, so if you do mention that, now Drost will agree with you that the temple is where it's at.
Okay, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'll be like, all right,
Okay,
I'm in.
so
you son of a bitch.
Okay, let's get ready to kiss some rings.
so
Cracked rings.
I want to just try playing this real straight. They like me right now. I've been moving around the ranks with them, making friends. I want to just, on behalf of the temple, say that I'm a traveling, I'm a traveling person of faith, and I would like to I'd like to see who they've got in their cells and just see what sort of rehabilitative work I can do with them. Because I want to, I believe that prison should be about rehabilitation and not incarceration, and I want to just preach the good word.
I do not understand most of what you just said.
That's okay, Drost. I know it's hard.
Do you speak giant?
No,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
it's okay.
I am going to make my way to the barracks. But
Would you like us to follow? Or is this too many people?
I think for this in particular, I think I should be alone going in, or else it might raise a lot of eyebrows. But if there's anything I can do to help you all from inside, or before I even go to them, I'm more than happy to accompany you.
Well, we can go to Whispers while you take care of this.
All right, yeah, I want to give it a try. So let's do that.
I will say we are in the habit of doing work right now. I would be comfortable with you offering our services
Okay,
in exchange for information.
sure.
As well, I am also comfortable with that.
Agreed.
And just so we're on the same page, you are all comfortable with me kind of acting as the group authority and offering our potential services in exchange for information from the town?
That is what I just said.
Okay, I
Yes.
want to make sure. Okay, then I am going to make my way out.
Split the party, split the party. All right. So the rest of you head to Whispers while Felicia makes her way up here towards the town hall, the jail, the barracks. It's one big kind of cluster of buildings with a courtyard in the middle.
As we're walking over, I'll look to Nakarth. Is it just me, or does what the cat says make no sense?
No, it makes sense. You're just not familiar with politics.
It is like gust of wind. There is no meaning, just noise.
I mean, they do talk more than they need to, but sometimes that's required.
I suppose. All right, that was it. I just wanted to.
Okay, that's a fair, quick little flavor. So Felicia, you approach from the angle you did before over here, kind of the entrance to the long hall that it was spotted before, with the jail at the back. And again, there are two guards that again look very bored. They're different guards than were last around here, but pretty much the same situation. They're kind of playing with some a dice set and things like that. They're not super vigilant, but they're at least sitting in front of the door.
Okay, I'm going to approach them and just kind of quietly introduce myself, kind of wave a hand as I approach and say, hi, I'm not sure if you remember me. My name's Felicia. I am a traveling priestess, and for the past few weeks, I've been working with the temple here in town, and we've been doing a lot of the good work together. And I wanted to offer my services to the people that you have in the barracks right now. I believe that there's always room to grow and room to heal, and I just want to see, as an outsider, what I can do to bring, just bring some of the faithful views into their life and their circumstance, and just see if there's anything I can offer them, and and by extension offer the whole of your town by just doing some work with them from the other side of the bars.
All right. So as you begin talking, and while that introduction is happening, they both stand up, and one of them is about as you assumed from a glance before, a medium-ish human, nothing out of the ordinary, pretty average. But the other one, you didn't notice until you got closer, until he stood up, very slowly stood up, and kind of almost unrolled, until he stands about 9 feet tall. And his shoulders are gigantic, and his arms are just massive, and he's small legs actually, but just big everything else. Just a huge beast, and he actually has some fur down the back of his neck. His neck is very thick, and you would recognize him as a shifter. And he is just this monstrous being that's part beast, part man. And he begins to speak to you very slowly. That sounds good. Let me verify. And he slowly turns to the other more average soldier who is standing there, and the other guard there is like already writing this down and preparing a note to rush off to someone higher up. A brief moment later, he returns, hands the note to the big guy. The big guy reads the note for uncomfortably long, and then glances back to you and says, "That would be appreciated." And he kind of shuffles to the side of the door and opens it slowly for you and lets you in.
Thank you, kind sir. I'm glad to be of assistance. I'll be on my way.
Glad to be of assistance as well. And the door closes. The other guard,
Still in me there.
the other guard exhales with you and is like, he takes like a whole minute just to play a round of dice with me. It's crazy. Anyways, right down this hall here, and he'll take you down the hall to the back, and you see now at the end of this hallway. You pass by, some other hallways here and there that kind of cross around this courtyard area, but at the very end there is a metal gate, and he fiddles with some keys for a moment, picks one out, opens the door, it creaks very loudly, and he lets you in. Inside this big kind of polygon back here, that's an odd shape, are just many jail cells. They're small. They're not roomy jail cells. They all have one person each in them. Some of them have two, but it's you can generally tell they go for quantity rather than any kind of quality here. And everything is just metal everywhere. Yep. So there are many prisoners here of various races, sexes, walks of life. Some of them are wearing nicer clothing. Some of them are very poor and in rags. Seems like they just kind of toss people in the cells without any kind of in-processing.
Okay. Can I first make a perception check and just try to pick up any sort of hint if any of these people stand out as like what I recognize, who I understand like James Barker to be and to probably look like?
Sure, make me a perception check.
Rolling, come on. That's a 15.
15, okay. As you go through the jail cells, he kind of walks you through them first before he has you stop to start helping anybody in particular. So you can kind of just... Like I said earlier, you see people of all sorts of walks of life here. It's pretty crazy. One prisoner in particular does stand out to you, though. Mostly in that there are so many cages, or so many cells here, rather, filled. But around this one prisoner, there's kind of a gap of a few empty cells between him and any direction towards any other cell. And
okay.
He definitely appears to be the dirtiest one of the bunch.
Okay. I'm going to turn to... Where's my escort standing?
He's just following along right beside you the whole way.
Okay. I'm going to turn to him and say, hey, thank you for bringing me in here again. I'm sorry, what is your name?
My name is Steph. Just Steph. Yep.
Hi. I know this is gonna sound like a lot, but I've been doing this sort of work with, with the prisoners from wherever I go, and it's always the case that they're a lot more receptive if, the staff isn't in immediate listening distance.
The staff isn't within, or me specifically, or
the guards stuff. If you could just give us a little bit of room. Obviously, I know you have to do your job, and you can have eyes on me at all times. But I just want to be able to speak to them one-on-one just a little bit, so we can really do the good work, and have them be able to speak freely with me.
All right. Steph looks hesitant, but make me a persuasion check.
Okay. Uh, 14.
14, okay. Steph kind of looks around, looks at some of the doors, and says, it's against protocol, but I have seen you at the temple. I know you've done good work there. I'll be over here for now, if you need me.
Thank you, Steph. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate your work as well. Thank you. And Steph will walk off to just kind of down the hall to another section. He can still see you, but he is no longer within earshot. And he's just kind of at the door to the jail area, just kind of just casually watching you. Not like intently, but kind of like with passing interest, watching somebody else do their job.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, and like we can go as micro level with this as you want, but I want to just kind of go to at least a few prisoners and just like have a chat with them, to do the whole thing of like why I said I'm here, so I don't arouse suspicion. Just like, kind of surface level, like, hey, like, how you doing? How are things in here? How's your time been?
Okay.
I don't know how deep you want to go with that, but like I eventually want to.
For the sake of brevity, I'll say make me a religion check for just the general conversations with everybody up to James Berker to see if you're kind of believable or not.
Okay. 9.
9, okay. Some of the more high-class looking people just kind of don't participate at all and just kind of wave you away. But a lot of the very, the dirtier, the people who either look like they've been in here a long time and are desperate, or people who just look pretty down on their luck, definitely interact with you quite fervently, as they aren't in the best situations. But those in all the nice clothing and perhaps the more learned folk, They aren't hostile to you, but they definitely are not interested, and perhaps you get the feeling they don't fully 100% believe your intentions, but they are just prisoners, and they don't really have any say anything, and they don't even mention it. It's just kind of the feeling you get.
I don't need their approval. Fuck them. So I'm gonna mosey my way over to the solitary person down there, and okay, wait, before I do that, out of character, because I have not been taking good notes, do you remember the name of the woman I spoke with at the bar?
The female elf?
Yes.
That was Kalena Yeldrin.
Okay. What? I'm out of earshot. Fuck it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go up to that saying, and I'm gonna, lean, just kind of crouch down and just gently speak over to be like, hey in there, what's your name?
So what you see upon getting close to the cell is a man in just a brown robe. It's kind of pulled up over his head a bit. He's just slumped on the ground, not moving much. Pretty much if dejection could have, like, if it could be in the flesh, that's it. So he's the incarnation of just, bad luck. Seems like the world is just crashing down on him, and he's just not responding. So you approach and you start to speak to him, and just no response. Doesn't even twitch.
Very, very quietly, I ask, "Are you James by any chance?"
He kind of shrugs a little bit and glances up at you, but then glances back down.
James, does the name Kalena ring anything for you at all?
He looks back up at you, and now you can actually see his eyes, and they are pale. They are, you would almost think he was a blind man if he wasn't looking directly at you. And his face is just gaunt, and he seems like he hasn't eaten in far too long. But he otherwise doesn't look abused or anything, just malnourished. And he looks up at you and says, "Well, what does the name mean to you?"
She's a friend, James.
A friend.
We both want the same thing.
And what is that?
I make sure I'm very quiet and I say, "We want to help you, James."
How do I know this isn't a trick? How can I trust you? I trusted many people, and that's what got me in here. Did they even tell you why I'm in here? I bet they didn't. Because I trusted them first.
This is where you can help, James, because I don't think I know the truth. I don't think they've told me the right things. And I think that you can, because between you and I think that the temple here in town might be up to something, and I think you might know about that.
When you mention the temple, he does kind of get... If a man with pale eyes could have a spark in his eye, he does kind of get a quick glimmer. Recognition. He says... And actually, make me a persuasion check for that.
Okay. Do I have advantage?
Yeah, sure. Didn't give you advantage earlier because the guard was, hostile, but... No, he is not.
I think I'm good. Yeah, I got a 25.
Okay, yep. He actually begins to shift and move up closer to the bar so that you can whisper quieter. The church is up to something indeed. Before I go into James's story, I will return to the rest of the group. And so the 5 of you are at Whispers, yes? Is there anything you wanted to interact with the owner of Whispers over, or anything like that, anywhere else around the town?
I'm actually not going to go into Whispers. I'm going to head back out front of the town hall area.
Okay.
And I'm just going to sit cross-legged on the ground and start doing my little stone carving.
Okay, just like aggressively in front of the guards, or just kind of in the middle of town square?
No, not even in the middle of town square. If there's a bench, I'll just chill on it. If there's not, I'll just pick the side of a building and
so
hang out.
You're just acting normal. Gotcha.
Somewhere within sight of the front door, just carving.
Okay. The rest of you?
I guess I will head over and study the cloak of protection in the meantime.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna go and drop off what we got from our trip in the woods.
Yes, the heart and all that. I did mention earlier that you guys already turned that in when you got back. I just kind of skipped over for the sake of brevity. Yeah. She honored her end of the agreement, like I said, and she will allow Nakarath to begin studying whenever he would like. So you've already turned in the heart, and she is holding on to the rest of the corpse for you at the moment, although she has agreed it is your possession.
I was gonna sell her the tentacles.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you could attempt to make a deal with her if you want. We could do that now. Make me a persuasion check.
13.
Okay. The tentacles, you say? I'm not specifically aware of their particular properties, so it could be interesting to study. Are you aware of anything specific about them that I should that would catch my interest in them at all, or is it more just something for me to study?
I hear they're good for potions.
Potions. Okay, well, not my specialty, but definitely something I could look into. I'd give you 200 gold pieces for it. How does that sound?
What the fuck?
Can I insight check her to see if she's like lowballing me or if this is just like her just trying to be gentle?
You may.
I got an 8.
You kind of pick up that she is, in fact, lowballing you a little bit.
Can I also insight her?
Sure, if you want to. You're present.
As I listen from across the...
You may.
Uh, 22.
Yeah, you also get the feeling that she's lowballing a little bit.
All right. I will mosey on over and be like, oh, but I almost died in obtaining these. Surely it's worth more.
Yes,
Such a dangerous beast.
We honored our agreement of what I sent you there for. Yes, you can have full access to studying my wares for your own knowledge.
Of course. So this is a separate agreement.
All right. How about Nakareth making me a persuasion check?
Oh no. Okay.
I'll give you advantage because Karik is helping you out.
All right. Is that sweet plus 0?
I also have a plus 0.
14.
Well, I suppose I could raise the price a little bit. How does 240 sound? For all the tentacles.
250 and you got a deal.
All right. Sounds good to me. Let's shake on it. And she will shake both of your hands and immediately start counting out the gold pieces one by one. Anyone else want to do anything in the meantime?
How are we splitting that? Are we sharing that with everyone, or is that just me and you? Okay.
I'm fine with sharing it with the party. I mean, at least with the people who fought against this beast.
Fair.
Milos or Nala, either of you have anything you want to be doing in the meantime?
I want to take the heads of the two-headed dogs that I cut off and try and get the poison out of them.
Okay, make me a medicine check.
Oh, God. What's my medicine?
You should ask me for help.
Can I ask Kieran for help? And by Kieran, I mean Nakara.
Are you attempting to cut open these heads in the middle of Whispers? Or would you have asked Nakareth for help back in the residence?
Probably back in the residence.
Okay, I'll allow it. Go ahead and make that at advantage then.
Sweet.
Just imagining Milos just sitting cross-legged in the middle of Whispers, just tearing away with knives.
I do want it out of my bag of holding. It's getting kind of...
It's getting kind of rank. Yeah.
Yeah.
24.
Ew.
All right.
Oh, fuck.
So, Nakareth, you are very
Plus
familiar.
6 medicine.
Yes, you are very familiar with this poison. Intimately familiar, really.
At this point.
Yes. It kind of makes you pause and struggle a little bit as you work through this, but you manage to determine that it's less of a poison and more of a disease. But there is still some of it alive on the teeth of these beasts, and you manage to kind of harvest some of it into a vial. But it may not live long outside of its.
Why you want this disease? But here, you might have to get something to feed it with. Get some nice auger. It's fine. No.
Quick question.
Yep.
It was just Carrick, Milos, Nakarth, and Dross that fought the Displacer Beast, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So each of us would get 62 gold, but I'll say there's 2 extra, so I'll say Nakarth and I can get the each get 1 extra, so we get 60.
Sweet.
All right. If there are no objections, anything Nala would like to do in the time? If not, you could say you just tag along with somebody. That would be understandable. You do have something specific you'd like to do.
You're asking me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I do have a question, like out of character.
Sure.
Where we are currently is at Galt, right?
Yeah.
And I see that there's a general store, and the brass chain, brass bolt, are those just like items? Like,
yeah, so you guys would have picked this up by now. So the brass bolt is where you're currently staying. It's an inn.
It's an inn, yeah.
Yes, and the brass chain is a blacksmith right next door. And
okay, that's the blacksmith.
Yes,
all right.
the owners of the 2 establishments are husband and wife. They are gnomes named Timbers as their last name.
So I know the barbarians don't usually like wear heavy armor.
Mm-hmm.
But I was kind of just want to look around for like maybe better gear of some sort.
Check out a shop for like maybe a better axe or sword or something. Is that kind of the idea? Sure.
Yeah.
And take a peek. Oh, hello, good sir. I don't think I've seen you around here before. Anything I can offer you? Are you looking for anything in particular? And you see in the middle of this very stone building, stone tiles, stone walls, and even the ceiling is like more stone tiles. There's lots of metal implements and weapons and armor scattered across the walls, hung in various places as they've been sold and replaced and all that. I am N. Timbers, and welcome to the Brass Chain. How may I be of service?
I am looking for a great sword that may be better than what I currently have. So I'm assuming that I have my sword with me, kind of to show him what I have.
If you would like to, present it to him. You can look it over for a second. He kind of twists it around. It's pretty heavy for him, so he has to kind of use some leverage against the counter and things like that to really maneuver around it. But after looking at it with some spectacles for a bit, he says, "Well, this is fine craftsmanship. It's quite sturdy. I don't know how much I could do to really improve this besides perhaps sharpening it up and giving it some maintenance. I think you may need to look into some arcane means if you mean to do anything more specific with this. Perhaps
arcane meaning enchantment?
Yes, indeed. I dabble in enchantment of weapons, though I much prefer enchanted clockwork and machines and automaton, things of that nature. But I could probably whip up something simple if you're in the market.
What do you have?
Well, if you just wanted to deal purely more damage, maybe be a little easier to swing in your hands, I could enchant it with something like that. Sharpen it up a bit, make it a little more aerodynamic. That would cost you a few hundred gold pieces, depending on how quickly you need it done. Perhaps 200 or 300.
Oh shit! I'm a poor boy. Oh, fuck. What is the cheapest thing you can do?
Well, I could produce you another sword of the same make for fairly cheap. But I don't know if that would do you any good. Do you want armor, sir? I could perhaps make you some armor, though that's fairly expensive as well. I could make you a breastplate or something. That would be, 400 gold pieces or so.
All right. So he realizes he's a poor ass boy. Takes the sword, brings his head down, his shoulder. I mean, his arms crossed with his things, and he walks away.
Oh,
Oh,
poor Nala.
And in his head, he just says, "I need more money. Therefore, I need more. I need to find more job."
Yes, acquire currency.
Yeah, that's my mission.
All right. So that has been the whole party I think we've worked through, so I will get back to Felicia.
Oh, shit.
Yep. So James has leaned in. You can't tell if he quite trusts you yet, but he does seem to trust you enough to at least answer your questions. And so the question you had asked him earlier was kind of to tell him the truth of the situation as it stood.
Yes.
So I will summarize a large portion of it. That is like a backstory to the tale rather than the tale itself. But James tells you of Galt's work during the war, and he lived here in Galt during that time. Again, working for the same people as before, as now, rather. Galt's profited off the war quite a bit. Perhaps intentionally, perhaps not so. But you can tell a lot of the... just glancing around the shops and things there, even, you could kind of get the feeling that a lot of places used to make weapons and now are trying to retrofit themselves for other things. James specialized in some war magic back then, and he tells you of all these great spells and enchantments he wove that are maybe a little bit above your head at the moment. There's these deep necromantic secrets that he used to employ during the war. Not directly, but he would help them perhaps set traps or set trenches, things like that. All sorts of things of that nature. And then after the war, he sought work again here in Galt. And the Aurum kind of picked him up. They scooped him up, seeing his talents during the war. And what he was able to do, harnessing the energies of all those who are dying in battle anyways. I mean, what's a greater power source in a battle than all the dead bodies that are piling up? And so, the area around Galt is still charged with a lot of negative energy. A lot of this death and decay has seeped into the soil, into the plants, into just the life force of the area. It's tainted. Make me an intelligence check real quick.
Okay. That is a 7. I'm not that smart.
All right, so he asks you a few questions about what you know or not, but then he explains to you that there are these things called manifest zones that pop up here and there, perhaps in response to the great amounts of power being used, perhaps in response to just the cosmos aligning just the right way, or perhaps just as permanent features of the landscape and nobody knows why they're that way. But they are places where the different planes kind of intersect slightly, and various effects happen because of that. The greatest example of this in the nation, or not in the nation, in the continent, is the city of Sharn, deep in the southwest, where many towers float, or great tall structures are held aloft by magic, simply because the area just kind of does that. And they were able to build much stronger and much taller because the gravity in the area and the winds in the area just kind of don't work the same as everywhere else. Things like that. Not so much invasions of the other realms, more so physics behaving weirdly or weird phenomenon occurring because of astronomical and planes-related fuckery. He explains that all of the great, terrible war magic used during the war, especially here in Onder, kind of the magical capital of the world, really, as far as he knows. It tainted the land around Galt especially, and the fields to the east are known as the Crying Fields, I believe, which are basically a cursed land. And so he was hired to harness the energy of this cursed land, the Crying Fields, and just the negative energy around Galt in general. He wasn't necessarily told what the energy would be used for, but he was to harness it, as is his specialty. And he did so for a long time, for years. It's been 4 years since the war, or 2 years since the war, rather. 4 years since the Day of Mourning. And he explains now, I will return in character. Those bastards, after years of service for them, they locked me up in here. I don't know why. I assume they don't want what I've just told you to get out. I don't know. They plan to do something with this energy. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I know they plan to do something. I've heard whispers of a vampire right before I was taken. I don't know if they plan to summon it, or to tame one, or what, or if they... I don't know anything other than that it's part of the whole plot. Has there been anything strange around Galt lately? I don't know how long you've been here.
I haven't been here long. I've found a note that seemed to have been burned near the message board that had your name, and we saw the word vampires on it.
Yes, that was I posted that shortly before they took me. I was catching on to things. You see, I work beneath the town. There are some secret passageways and catacombs down there. It's best to do necromancy under the ground, closer to the earth, closer to the corpses, And I came to the surface one day after overhearing some of their conversations, immediately posted that notice, and then they came and caught me as I was posting it. And I saw them burn it. I'm glad some of it survived, enough of it for you to find me.
I'm glad as well. James, I probably don't have much time. I don't want to arouse suspicion. They do not think I'm here to talk to you about this, obviously. Where is the entrance to your underground research area?
Right, so it's on the east side of Galt, outside the wall. If you search for it, you may find it. It's not the most hidden thing ever, so much as it's less of a secret area and more of a area nobody really goes in. Nobody wants to go underground where the corpses are, where people are buried in Galt. It may be guarded. That might be a clue to its location, but it's just a hole in the ground near the wall of Galt.
Okay. Before I go, do you know anything about the temple leader? Because I know he's part of the Aurum, and I'm really suspicious of that.
Ah, yes, Zaeldun. He is of the Silver Concord of the Aurum here in Galt. The highest ranking member in this area. He's the one who hired me originally, yes. Not as his duty as a priest, but rather as his duty as a member of the Aurum. I believe it's their doing here, rather than the church's, though the two may be intertwined. I really don't dabble in that realm much.
Okay, James. Is there anything else you can tell me that would help me help you and help this whole situation before I go? Please, anything would be helpful.
Helpful to the situation. Well,
Getting
in that cave underneath Galt, in the catacombs down there, I was harnessing all of this power into a very large dragon shard. That's where all of the energy was being stored, all of this negative energy. I was attempting to grow the size of the dragon shard with this energy. It's my latest experiment. I'm assuming that my latest batch was successful and it was indeed growing and drawing energy from nearby. But I really cannot confirm that. It's been weeks down here. I've lost count.
James, what's the dragon shard for?
That is just the problem. They hired me to harness this energy and store it. They did not tell me what it was for. I only discovered very late that I began to overhear a conversation. And they were saying things about a vampire, and they were saying things about the sheriff, and I couldn't catch more than that, but then they heard me snooping on them. I leaned on the door a little too hard, it creaked a little bit, and that's when I fled.
Okay.
I don't know what any of that means. I don't think Keth is a vampire. He's a proud half-orc. He's the sheriff here. He's a good friend, honestly. But he does not think very highly of the Aurum. I know that much.
Where did you last see him?
Oh, must have been months ago. He takes these trips, you see. On occasion, he takes a trip out to hunt, mostly, or just to track down clues on the various things he's chasing. That's just what he does. Have you heard from him? Is he around town still? Have you conversed with him about any of this? If not, you should find him. He might have more information. He's very very handy with investigation.
We're seeking him out. I'll try to find him the best I can.
Okay, good.
James, I have to get going. Remember, we spoke, and I tried to talk to you of the gods, and I was unable to reach you. You are a lost cause.
All right.
I'll do what I can. Stay strong.
They'll probably believe that. Yes, that's a good story. Okay, and make sure Kalena's okay. I'm sure you've met up with her. Yes.
Yes.
Make sure she's safe.
I'll do my best to do that, sir.
Thank you.
Right. And I go, and I I return to Steph, and I immediately make a comment that that solitary one in there, I couldn't get through to him. He just seems really closed off, but a lot of the rest of them were really receptive, and I'm glad I got the opportunity. Just shame about that one guy, though.
Make me a deception check.
Oh, good, 22.
Yeah, James is there. Yeah, he's a strange one. They tell us not to really interact with him much. I'm surprised he even talked to you at all. But maybe that he even talked to you proves that you are as good as they say about you.
Well, I'm honored, Steph. Thank you. I'm really glad I got the opportunity here today.
Well, thank you for your service, and I'll see you out now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Steph will walk you back down the hall, and the shifter at the end of the hall will slowly open the door, and then wave to you, goodbye, and then return to his dice set with Steph.
All right, goodbye. Thank you both. I'll be on my way. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go join the others.
All right. So you head over to Whispers, and you find everybody there. You guys, maybe would you meet as you're leaving, or would you all be in there waiting for Felicia to arrive?
I assume waiting for Felicia. Our deal
Right.
at Whispers wouldn't have taken that long.
So, Drost, you do see Felicia emerge as you're sitting in the town square. If you would like to follow her over to Whispers, or you can remain there.
I'll follow her over to Whispers.
All right. Nala, you as well probably would have joined up with the
Yeah.
others at Whispers at this point, after returning from the brass chain.
Yeah.
So you're all there on inside Whispers.
Well, how's everyone's day?
Okay, I say as I sketching different designs and ratios of fabrics and trying to figure out how the fuck to make a cloak of protection.
Peaceful, productive.
Well, I did some really good rehabilitative work down at the barracks today. I feel like I really reached some of them. I know it's hard in there, and it's hard out in these times anyway. But I'd love to just share some of my stories with you sometimes. I just think it's really important to get to do that work. I know it's boring, but
Perhaps we could speak of this at the inn.
Yeah, it's good. It's good end of the day sort of talk as we're winding down, I think.
Jordan, can I examine Nakarth's work?
Nakarth's notes on the cloak of protection? Sure.
Yeah.
If Nakarth will allow you to.
Or like what he's working on right now. Just like lean over his shoulder and look at what he's working on.
Sure. Can I help you, Drost?
Your fibers, they seem wrong.
I mean, they probably are, but that's what trial and error is for. Do you have any insight?
Jordan, do I have any insight?
Make me an Arcana roll.
I would absolutely love to.
Nakarth, you can aid him if you wish in like interpreting your notes.
Sure. Go ahead.
Nakarth
So I already have advantage. If he's aiding me, would that be a third roll, or is that
well,
the
it's just
same?
plain advantage.
Okay, well that was a 19.
19. Okay. So you glance over his notes, and in the short time he had, really, you guys have been here for maybe half hour, an hour. Not a crazy amount of time for him to, especially with all the negotiations that happened, not a crazy amount of time for him to take notes, but it looks like he's making good progress. It's not like he's solved the equations yet or anything, but you can tell he's studying.
I'll tap him on the shoulder and say, keep up the good work.
Ah, oddly encouraging words from you. Thank you. Excuse my voice for accident.
All right. The owner pipes up now, seeing a few new customers she hasn't seen before. Oh, hello, welcome to Whispers. How can I help you with anything? Would you like to look around? Are you here to buy anything? And she kind of gestures to Nala and Felicia.
I'll actually point Faye over to the charisma boosting robes with butterflies everywhere.
Oh,
Yes, indeed. Would you like to look around the shop?
Oh,
Just
I
to
want
see
to
what's
look
around.
at them robes.
All right. So as a recap, specifically if you're attracted to the robes immediately, I'm assuming the party will fill you in on this as well, as they learned this last session. The items on display, this is a clothing store primarily, but they specialize in enchanted clothing. So the primary item on display is called a glamour weave, and it is there's a sign that says they can make one custom for you over 2 days for 200 gold pieces, or they have a pre-made one for 250 gold pieces. That is very, very nice looking. And there's also a few other pre-made ones that are only 50 gold pieces, but they're not as nice. So the very nice one has kind of butterflies that kind of subtly move across the surface, and even kind of some of them fly out from the clothes, and like particle effects around the clothes, essentially, of these butterflies just gently drifting, and it's a robe. And so they kind of go across the back and the shoulders and the arms and down the back, and they're nice looking. Very bright but not like obnoxious colors. They're very pleasant. Additionally, the other pre-made ones, there's a few different patterns. There's some different patterns than last time you guys were in here. There's some rainbows that subtly shimmer across the surface, but these ones do not like leave the surface of the clothes. Like some lightning effects and some fire effects and some other subtle. Those aren't so subtle, but there are some more subtle ones mixed in. Less wow factor than the butterflies slightly flying around the clothes.
Am I to understand that these boost charisma?
Yes, indeed they do. Let me pull up the exact stats real quick.
Yeah, please.
I believe once per day they give you an extra D4 to a charisma check. I forget the... So once per day, while wearing these slightly more rare and like more the ones with particle effects.
The more enchanted ones.
Yes, the more magic, the more arcane, the more beautiful ones, the more in your face about them being magic are fantastical. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Yes, once per day you can add a d4 to a charisma check.
A charisma check specifically, like not like any sort of roll using charisma.
Yeah, any sort of roll using charisma would be a charisma check. That just discards things like charisma saving throws or charisma-based attack rolls or things like that. So stuff like if I ask you for a charisma check or if I ask you for persuasion, deception, all of that would also count.
Okay, and sorry to be a huge pain, but like, is this something I have to call before a roll, or can I do it after a roll?
Sure. You can use it either way, I would say.
Okay.
It's only once per day, but yeah, you can bolster a low roll with it if you want, or make a high roll. Scream to the heavens.
Do you have guidance?
What now?
Do you have guidance? Do we have guidance in this party?
I don't think I have guidance. I should have guidance.
Okay, I'm in too many games. I'm just double checking because.
Oh no, I got guidance. We're good. I got guidance.
All right, sweet. My question is, can he use them both?
Oh yeah, totally. You can stack that.
All right.
Stack that with a bardic inspiration and a flash of genius or whatever from the artificers. Yeah. Just roll a hot like 50 on that charisma check. Go for it.
All right, well, I want that shit.
50. The Red Sea should part for him.
I'll make it part with my charisma. Yeah, but I got not enough gold, so
he just seduces the Red Sea.
That's exactly what I'm here for, George.
Last month. What? Yeah, the silence is fitting.
I didn't truly hear, but yeah, I don't know. I'm so glad to know that exists.
So, just for bookkeeping notice, Charlie, 2 of your church favors will have been used up today.
Totally fair.
All right. That you accrued while working for the church.
Yes.
All right. Anything else, folks? Would you like to go to another place or converse more with the owner of Whispers? Look around town more? Anything like that?
So has Felicia filled us in with what she learned at the prison?
No, that's why I'm kind of hinting about going back to the inn.
Yeah. Well, how much are you short for the charisma robes?
100 gold pieces.
I'll loan you.
You say you'll loan me?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yes. Thank you. It's for the custom order. I gotta get pre-made. I'm not trying to waste 50, but okay. I'm
gonna give you 125 since it seems like you need a little bit of gold.
Yeah. Okay. You're a very good friend. I'm going to profusely thank you. Carry my little fat gold pouch up to the counter and say, hello, yes, I would like a custom-made set of your pretty butterfly robes.
Oh, yes. What would you like on them? Anything in particular? Any special patterns you have in mind?
Stipulation. You gotta have Nyan Cat on it.
You know, I like you can tell.
I'm kidding.
From the
don't
way
do that.
I look.
Please don't do that.
I would like the just a gold embroidered insignia of just a cat on the back of the robes, please. Amongst all the just this purpley butterfly goodness.
Oh, so you want one of the butterflies as well? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Oh yes. I can make that fairly quickly. So just the same as the one that I have on display, but with the insignia on the back?
That's right, man.
Would you like the insignia to do anything? Would you like it to shimmer, shine? Well, it's completely custom. You can design this entire outfit if you desire. You can shoot, it doesn't have to be butterflies. You could have flames float around you, or clouds, or whatever you can picture, really.
Out of character, can I think on this? Because this is very important.
Oh, sure. She can. In character. Oh, yeah. Yes, I could start preparing the base ingredients and all of the kind of more heavy lifting of the process, and leave the delicate design work for later. Yes, if you need some time to sleep on it.
Thank you. This sounds great, and I just deposit the just fat load of 200 gold on the table.
All right. She will accept that.
All right. I'm gonna make some adjustments here.
Thank you for your business. It's I've already worked with most of your friends here, and they've done good work for me, and it's glad to do good business with you. I believe this is the start of a wonderful relationship.
I would hope so. Thank you so much.
Ah, thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. Okay, I owed Nikarith 125 gold.
Yeah.
Parentheses, he's a good boy. Okay, good. Notes taken. All right. Super.
If good boy doesn't appear in your D&D notes, are you even doing it right?
Clearly not.
All right, folks. Anything else around the town? Would you like to now return to the Brass Bolt and have Felicia fill you all in, or?
Dross is ready to have the check-in.
I'm ready to give the check-in.
All right. I don't hear any objections, so we'll say you all make your way over there.
Nurse Faye, I need a checkup.
I can't wait till I reveal my identity and you calling me Faye will be canonically accurate.
Nikarith, on the
Nurse
way...
Felicia! Sorry, yeah.
Nikarith! On the way over, you actually do catch a glance of something out of the corner of your eye. Only you. It was very brief. You're not entirely sure, but it just kind of makes the hairs on the back of your neck stick up a little bit. You glance back and there's nothing there, but you're sure there was something there. Maybe somebody there.
Excuse me, everyone, and I'm gonna walk down the whatever alleyway and look around and try to find whatever was there.
I
for
will
signs.
follow him, but like very slightly.
All right, make me a perception check. If Dross is following, you can aid him, I'd say.
I will aid you.
Yep.
I'm gonna send.
Well, first roll was a 15. Second one was a 2, so we'll take that 15. 19 total.
19 total. All right. As you quickly dart down this hallway and Dross follows you, and you spot the tail end of a cloak just disappear around a corner. And you don't hear any footsteps or anything, but you just see a brief flash of some cloth, just barely caught it as it went around the corner.
Well, I'm gonna keep chasing them since I'm a speedy motherfucker with a 40-foot walking speed.
I'm gonna jog after, but much slower.
All right.
I'm gonna send Neko afterwards.
What's Neko's speed?
I don't know. How do I? Where is that stat?
It might be in your extras.
Oh, speed 40 feet.
There you go. Okay, so pretty speedy. So you got a monk and a cat just barreling down these alleys. As you continue to, the rest of the party, are you all just staying there, or are you kind of following as well in like a train? Like, what's the
I'm
deal?
staying there. I'm just sending Neko.
just go.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with this.
Okay, so it's just Drost, Jog. Oh, I'll allow anyone else to jump in as well, but all right, I don't hear anyone. So Drost, Nikarith, and Neko kind of, well, Nikarith and Neko charging. Drost just kind of jogging behind. Nikarith, make me a Constitution saving throw real quick.
Oh, fuck me.
This is just to see how long you can keep up this chase, as you keep chasing somebody darting between alleyways and darting around. It's a chase scene.
13.
13, okay. Not gonna make Neko roll for anything because it's a fucking robot. And Drost is kind of jogging. But, whoever this is definitely knows you're chasing them. There's loud ass metal footsteps stomping behind them, and but they're just on the run, and you eventually lose track of them. Less because you weren't fast enough or weren't perceptive enough, and more just because they out stamina you a bit in this chase.
They can't out stamina Neko though.
They can't. The Neko. I mean, if you want to make me a perception check for Neko, I was assuming Neko is following the car.
Oh yeah, Neko
wherever I
was.
lost them,
I'm
can I
sad.
guess where they might be going?
It seems
try to
seems like they were just trying to lose your tail, or lose your not tail so much as you chasing them, but they're just running in circles, darting down random alleyways, trying to be shifty and dodgy.
Motherfuckers. I will admit defeat and walk back to my party since I seem to have lost them.
All right.
There was someone following us.
Did you?
Whatever you
see
did,
them?
I just saw the cloak. What color was the cloak?
It was dark. It was either a black or a very dark blue.
Just
All
as
I saw was
the color.
it was black or very dark blue. Happy?
No, I would be happy if you caught them.
Well, so would I. But here we are.
All right. I'm assuming you all make your way along then, if no one else has comments on that.
Guess we'll just.
So, whatever you did, Faye, I hope it
Walk
was
back to
worth pissing people off.
I don't think you've learned the name Faye yet, but
Shit!
just as a note.
Well, this is what happens when you put your name as the wrong name on Roll20.
It's not the wrong
Take
name.
note.
Just write Felicia.
It's Felicia. It's right there.
Just take.
Well, guess
Faye
what?
away.
I don't look at your
Take
name
Faye
tag
away.
the whole time.
At least it's not Hannah.
Yeah, that's actually 100%.
My dad, formerly known as Hannah, formerly known as Felicia.
I already showered.
All right.
Sorry.
Anyways, Felicia, if you'd like to
I
add
forgot to let go of push to talk.
Felicia, if you'd like to add any commentary to your overview of the recent events, or
I mean, I feel like it'd be probably a good starting point next time to go into a proper battle
Sure.
plan of all that. There's a lot there.
there is, and there is a lot that just happened now.
Yeah, and I don't want to keep us. So.
All right. Yep, that's fair enough. So we can cut it off there. We'll assume you all made your way to the brass bolts, and we will begin from there. It is now late afternoon in town. It's not evening or anything yet, so you all just wait there until next week, and we'll pick up from there.
So it was Sunday at the beginning. What day is it now? Is it still Sunday?
Yes.
or-
It's still Sunday. Yeah.
All right.
So yes, technically it's the equivalent of Sunday. The day is Sul.
Half an hour has passed.
Yes, we are in the first of Baracus, 998 is the current date, which is Sul. And yeah, I'll leave the more detailed explanations of Eberron calendars for later. That'll be
We
it.
spent an hour and a half playing out about an hour worth of time.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm
Others-
very sorry for
Yeah,
dominating that one, everyone. I did not.
I mean, it's
Me
okay.
too.
You didn't get anything last week.
It's important. We have good info now.
That's
Yeah,
fine. I get
yeah.
some two-headed dog disease.
Yeah, I gave everybody a
least you got
chance to do
something.
something at least if they wanted to.
I tried to get something.
Can I-
you
Yeah.
know.
Can I
Yes.
try to help him find an auger to keep the bacteria alive? Excuse me while I go full biology.
Yes.
No, just kidding.
Anyways, we're going to end it there. So I hope you all had a good time tonight, and we will see you next week.